Hello, this is Richard from Websites Essex. Today I'm going to take you through installing WordPress using the Softaculous installer that is present on most cPanels. The first thing to do is to log on to your cPanel using the username and password provided by your hosting company. Go down to the Softaculous installer. And here it is, the Softaculous apps installer. And this might present itself in a number of ways, but if it has a WordPress script, just click on WordPress and it will tell you all sorts of useful things about WordPress, and you can click on Install. Now let's explain some of these options. So this is the protocol that's available. Now the protocol is the bit at the beginning of the web address, which some browsers won't show you, but tells you whether or not the web address is a secure one. In other words, it has an SSL or Secure Sockets Layer certificate. And if that has got a Secure Sockets Layer certificate, then you select HTTPS. And if you want the www in front of it, you can select that. If it doesn't have a Secure Sockets Layer certificate, then it's just the www if you want that. We're just going to use the root extension, so that's there. The domain is where you want to install WordPress, and so we're going to choose our domain, which is Synergy Training. And then in directory is relative to the domain. So if you leave that blank, when anybody types in your chosen domain, so for us that's synergytraining.org, then that will load up your website that you're just about to build. WordPress is a popular system for building websites, and this makes it quite valuable to people who are hackers. They can use that site to create email addresses, and then they can spam people. This devalues your website, and Google will never rank that website. You may as well throw it in the bin. So if this website is important to you, it's really important that you protect it. So these tips make it a little bit more difficult for hackers to get in. And the first one is changing the table prefix. This bit down here is the table prefix. Now all WordPress installations use a series of databases. So by default, every single one of those tables is WP underscore. What you're going to do is change that, so that is something different. What we're going to do is we're just going to put in a number, almost at random. And then down here is the name of the site. Now, for us that will be Synergy Training, and then a site description, and that will go into your description in your header. And so it's a useful sort of second opportunity of explaining to Google what it is that you want your website to be known for. So we are just going to put in training website, because that's what this is for us. It's just a website we use to train people. The next series of things here, enable multi-site. Most people won't want multi-site. The second of the security tips is that the admin username should never be left as admin. An awful lot of hackers will guess that that is what the admin username is, and then all they have to crack is the password. And the third tip is to make it something other than a thing linked to your site. Make it something completely unconnected. So we'll just take that out and use something else. And it doesn't really matter again what that is. We'll probably do, and then we'll end it with some numbers. Now you want to make this admin username accessible afterwards, because you're going to need to use that to log on. So the thing to do is to copy that. So I've copied the username and the password for the admin into a text editor, and then we will go back to our Softaculous installer, and you'll see down here there's an admin email. Now this has to be a real email, It's the email that WordPress will use to email you if it comes across any problems. And so I have an admin email that I use, and so I shall type that in there. Select a language is quite important, and you'll see that there are various different varieties of things that we can put in here. But English is there. There isn't an American English or a British English or anything else, so just select English. And then there are some plugins here. It's usually worth looking at these. This one's quite a good one to install, so we'll tick that. And then we'll go further down. So the advanced options there, we can have a look at those. But this is the name of the database. We don't need to worry about changing that. And then there's a whole load of other bits and pieces that you can tick or not, as the case may be. And then at the bottom there are themes that you can select. We're going to leave those for now, and we'll do that later. And then you can put where the details are to be emailed to. So I'm going to use that same admin email account. And then press install. Now this says it takes 3 to 4 minutes, but I've never known it to take that long unless you've got a particularly slow server at the other end or a particularly slow internet connection. And there we are. It now tells us that we have a WordPress installation. And what we can do to check on that is we can open up ourselves a new tab and type in the name of our area that we've created with our WordPress installation, and there we have our WordPress installation. And that is relatively secure. And it is as simple as that to do a WordPress installation from Softaculous. Let's have a quick look inside WordPress. To do that we do / and then wp-admin after the URL, and that will bring us up a logon, and then we can press login. And this is the dashboard that you can see. Now already you can see that there are 2 updates that need to be done. For the security of your site, a lot of these updates are to prevent people hacking in, and so I would suggest that you always update. So to do that, go to Updates. You can just select all and update plugins, and it will update those very quickly for you. And now if we go to plugins, which were the things that needed to be updated, we can have a quick look at those. And you can see we've got loads of plugins there. We've got 4 there. We might not want all of those, and we can look at those later. But you've got 4 plugins and they're all up to date. So let's just take you through, first of all, the dashboard and the tools on the side here. So the dashboard we saw earlier, this can be changed, so you can dismiss things and you can add other things which tell you basically what's going on here. So this is your latest post. This of course is the default post that comes with WordPress, and you will probably want to delete that. It will tell you what theme you are running and what version of WordPress you are running and how many pages and posts you have. So let's just look at posts. Again, you've got that hello world post there that you may want to delete. And you can add a new post, add new categories, and add some tags. All this will become apparent as you get used to WordPress. Media are basically things other than words, so these will be your pictures, your videos, your PDF files, and anything else you add, and that's where you manage those. Posts are like blog posts, so they are temporary things. They have got a time related to them. Pages are the permanent bits of your website. And if you put something in a post, it will be labelled with the date. If you put something down as a page, it will be regarded as permanent. Comments are where people can comment on your posts or your pages if you allow them to do that. Appearance is quite important. That is about how your website looks. And what we'll do is we'll have a look at how to change some of your website soon. Plugins, you've seen the plugins that are there. There are a host of plugins for WordPress. So fundamentally, if you need to do something with WordPress, there is probably a plugin that will help you do it. Users is something you're going to want to look at if there's going to be more than one user. So users are how you set up your interaction with other people. At the moment, WordPress, if you look up here the WordPress is calling you by the name of your logon. You can change that down here if you want to. And then you've got tools that are available. You can import and export various things. And then settings, which is also quite important. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into settings to start with, and we're going to go into reading. Because what we don't want at the moment is we don't want this website to be listed on Google. And the reason that we don't is we want to build our website first, and then when we're ready for Google to crawl it, we can then untick that, and then Google will come along and have a look. So we can save that change. The other thing it's worth doing is if you go into you can open a new tab here. And this, you'll remember, is what the website looks like at the moment. There's our post down there. And we're going to change the look and feel because that looks a bit grey and drab, doesn't it? So if we go to Appearance and Themes, a theme is something that you can add to your WordPress site in order to improve the look and feel, make it look as you would like it to. Now you've got the 3 default themes here. And there are lots of themes that you can pay for, and there are lots of themes that you can have for free. So we're going to have a look at some free ones now. So let's go into Add New. And I know the name of one that looked quite good. It's called Parabola. You can look that one up, and there it is. And to install it, you just click on Install. It's going to install that theme, and then it's going to ask me if I want to activate that theme. So in other words, if I want that to be the active theme on the site. I'm going to click Activate. And now you can see that the active theme is Parabola. So if we go to our page, refresh that page, remember all we've done is change the theme, and it looks very different already. So that looks more like the sort of website that you might want to have, perhaps with lots of pictures and various other bits and pieces, rather than just a plain grey and text looking website. So that is how to install WordPress using the Softaculous installer. I hope that's been helpful, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Goodbye.